What's going on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok? Episode 4 of Hoops AM. We're super excited. As you can see, we got a special guest. First special guest on Hoops AM. Max, you want to introduce yourself, bro?
Yes, yes. You know what? Glad to be here. I'm a brother of Andrew. Nothing much to say, but let's talk basketball. That's what we're here to do.
Yes,
Let's do
sir. I
it.
like it.
All right. Anything to say, Andrew, before we hop in?
No, man. Again, we found ourselves taking a long break. Um,
Life
so
happens,
we
man.
we got some stuff to catch up on, but
100%.
yeah, you lead us.
Okay,
You lead the
so
way.
yeah, so I would say the most polarizing event that's happened since our last episode was the NBA draft lottery. Um, as absolutely nobody expected, the Dallas Mavericks ended up winning the lottery with a 1.8% chance of winning. Initially, well, me and Andrew watched this in person together, and our reaction was obvious. The reaction of NBA fan, any NBA fan, what is
Raptors
happening?
fans.
This is immediately rigged. But like, let's go into depth. What do you think, Andrew? What do you think, Max?
Well, I'll talk about more from a Raptors fan's perspective. Like, it's kind of a slap in the face to the teams that are genuinely bad. Like the teams that are like actually bad, like don't beat good teams. That it seems since they flattened the odds, it's almost getting rid of tanking, which honestly is exactly what they tried to do. So like, can you even be mad? It's like if they said out
Right.
we don't want tanking to be a part of the game. This sure as hell makes people like it's not worth tanking anymore because the Hawks won. The Hawks won it last year. They were in the play-in game. Dallas was in the play-in game. They were close with Memphis in a play-in game. They were almost in the playoffs. Like
Exactly.
it's crazy, and
Beyond crazy.
it's like a team that makes one of the worst decisions in NBA history. I think people can agree on. I mean, it's supposed to play out. Like, who knows? Kyrie gets healthy. Cooper Flag is Cooper Flag. Maybe they make a good run and people are not thinking as bad as it is. But a team that makes at the time definitely a bad decision gets rewarded like this can make people think it's rigged. Um, but yeah, like you look at a team like Washington who slides to five. Have they been good in 20 years? Like, genuine question.
Shout out
And
John Wall,
what have they
Bradley Beal
gotten?
era.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We
Shout
did.
out
We
That was
took
like
we took care of them in the
2013,
playoffs though.
2014, though. Like that's still ages ago.
Okay, yeah,
A
12
decade.
years. Like,
Yeah.
and then the Spurs get Wemby last year. They're looking good. He gets injured, and then
Not
they get the
last year.
second.
No,
No, 2 years ago.
they got Castle last year. That was a top five pick.
Rookie of the year.
Yeah, Castle has they have the back-to-back Rookie of the Years. Could very well be back-to-back-to-back.
I
Um,
think that would be the first time in NBA history. Or is this already the first time
it
in
might
NBA
be
history?
because usually if you get a Rookie of the Year, you're not bad enough to. Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Anyways,
before you hop in, Max, one point I would say is I liked the rules before. When like if you were bad, you just had a chance to become good again. This infinite cycle of like luck basically never really gives the bad franchises or the franchises that have a smaller market that aren't doing well, that can't sign free agents, they don't really have the greatest opportunity to end up getting higher up in the standings or becoming a better organization, a team in general. So I feel like it's a slap in the face mainly to the smaller markets. It's a little bit hard to say that because you could consider Dallas as a smaller market team that did get rewarded in this situation. But at the same time, there's teams like the Trailblazers, teams like the Raptors,
Washington
teams
Raptors. Yeah,
like Washington
because when you
that
think about it, like
it
these small
hurts.
markets, so the Lakers don't get a good pick in the draft. The Lakers have every free agent wanting to go there every summer. They get calls like, "Hey, do you want Luca?" Like these smaller market teams don't have that luxury, so a lot of them bank themselves on drafting well, like getting good draft picks. So when you strip that from them, it's kind of like exactly what you just said.
Yeah, no, it's awful. What do you think, Max?
For me personally, I'm kind of 50-50 with either should the NBA move with what the NFL is doing and automatically giving the worst team the number one pick and going in that order. But for this year, it's really interesting because the Mavs can do a lot of things with this draft pick. There's talks about trading for maybe Giannis, a player not that caliber, but someone like that. So
Well,
it's
Nico the
people
type,
are saying
Nico the
that.
type to not take Cooper, bro.
but
You got the type to
and
take Molly
honestly,
Watch.
I I really don't think this is that good for Cooper Flag. Coming in with the Mavericks, I really think he wanted to be the number one option coming in, and go into the Mavericks with a team like Kyrie, AD, Clay, and they already got players like Lively and Gafford that really like are not like him, but size wise, yes. So I don't know. The Mavericks can do a lot of things, but moving on,
Like
I want
completely different timelines too.
yeah. Moving on,
Honestly,
I
I think
want to
out of oh, go ahead, go ahead.
no no. Moving on, I want to see get back to where the bad teams get the number one pick, like the NFL. So
That's valid. One thing I would say with the lottery is that honestly, out of the big three, I would say the consensus big three is Harper, Flag, and Mr. Next KD, Ace Bailey.
Bro, VJ
But
might be up there now. I can't lie.
yeah, no, he's definitely he's a 3-4 tweener, I would say, but out of that like consensus big three that most NBA fans agree with, I think Cooper would be the most willing to play more off ball, even like in a third, fourth option type situation, and I think the other aspects of his game can shine when that's the case. He's one of the best defensive prospects we've seen. Well, he is the best defensive prospect we've seen since Wemby, I would say. So athletic, so long pause, and he'll just be able to really, really be a great wing option for the Mavs going forward.
I want to respond to what Max said about he would like to see the NBA do the thing where its worst team gets the first pick.
Yeah.
I don't see that work. Like, there's something different about the cultures in the NFL and the NBA. Um, like the NFL, for whatever reason, like NBA's player driven. The players run the league. There's players that sit out and you think they can play. That doesn't happen in the NFL. Like you had teams chasing a 14% chance to get the first pick, and they were sitting their starters in second half of games. Like I think if you throw it out, if you're the worst team in the NBA, you get the number one pick, and Wemby's sitting there, you would have half the league like not trying to win games, like legitimately.
Yeah,
I
that's
mean,
valid,
it's the
especially in a draft
NBA.
class
Like
like
it's
this,
not
right?
the NFL is too much pride, man. Like
And there's
the
way less
NFL is
games in the NFL as well.
yeah, and whether that's like a knock on the NBA to say they don't have as much pride, or I don't know what I'm trying to get at, but I maybe you guys understand. Like it's not like other sports where teams are willing to lose, like to benefit themselves. If
Oh,
you
okay,
for
but
told the
sure.
league you're getting Cooper Flag if you end up as the worst record, you'd have teams winning 9 games, like legitimately, I think.
Yeah, I
And
agree. I agree.
that would heighten tanking, which is what they just kind of got. I think they kind of just got rid of. Like I don't think teams are going in anymore. Like
No, I agree. I agree.
I don't know.
Something like just to transition a little bit into the second pick, I would say
We lost we lost Max.
yeah, I think we might have. Is there any way we could get him back?
It suck.
Okay. Um, One thing I would say is, or a conversation that could be had is, what pick is more valuable or what pick is more important? The Dallas Mavericks getting the first pick? Okay, we got him back. We got him back. The Spurs getting the second pick or the Mavericks getting the first pick? What is more monumental? What is a bigger deal?
Well, because now the Spurs are like very well set up to where they have a young core that can move together, which also means they'll all have to get paid together, which usually doesn't end up working. But I think the Mavs, man, they now have. It's kind of like what the Lakers did in that trade. It's like post LeBron and AD, what are we going to be? Okay, we're going to be Luka, and we're going to be building off Luka. Now the
Right.
Mavericks are like, we're not championship or bust. Like they no longer are. To where if they don't win with Kyrie and AD, obviously they'd love to. They traded Luka. They have Cooper Flag. Like they can look forward.
And
It's
Derek
not all
Lively,
ending.
some young guys. Yeah.
Derek Lively, Gafford. Yeah.
Um, Quentin Gr Oh no, they don't have Quentin Grimes. I'm
No.
tripping.
Max, you any
I for
thoughts?
What two do they have? I'm
oh,
tripping.
question I lagged out or something. What was the question?
Oh, it was basically just what pick is a bigger deal? Is it the Spurs somehow jumping into that number two, um, and having the chance to grab Harper, Ace Bailey, um, or is it just the obvious Dallas number one pick?
Okay. For me, I would say the Spurs going at number two because I feel like they have more options either with Bailey Harper, but with the Mavericks they're kind of stuck with because the number one pick is 100% Cooper Flag. He is the best player in this draft, so I think they have to take Cooper Flag, and if they don't, it's just gonna be another Nico thing. Like what is Nico doing and all that.
Yeah,
So
I
I
agree.
think I
I
think
agree.
I think the Spurs have more freedom with the second pick, but they still probably would have preferred the number one pick.
That's valid. I honestly agree with you, Max. I think it's
Yeah, like value,
I,
like as in what's going to help a team win more next year? Maybe the Spurs. Yeah.
well, I think even long term it's the Spurs because if they have a core of Castle, Fox, Wemby, and maybe like Ace Bailey, that is a crazy starting four, man. Like I don't know how the NBA is going to guard that. That's why I would even
Vassell,
consider
Sohan.
Yes, I would even consider taking Ace instead of Harper at that point because you have a few guard options. Ace at the three, like a six
Bro,
nine, like KD
VJ,
type
De'Aaron
archetype.
Fox and VJ Edgecombe on the same floor? Like, that would be the fastest lineup ever. Man, just like
They'd be so
crazy, crazy
athletic.
combinations. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think we should move on, though. Should we talk about the last playoff series?
for sure. Did we want to tap into potential Raptors picks, or will we just do that in the next episode?
It's frustrating. It's stupid. I don't know how we got the ninth pick. I don't even want to really talk about it.
Me neither, man. One player I'm a little excited about potentially taking is Maluwatch from Duke. 7'2" big, 7'9" wingspan, huge defensive upside. I think
Yo,
that could be
boss.
I think that could be a valid center for us to work around going forward instead of obviously we're probably going to move away from Jakob Poeltl at this point. He's
You
in his
would
upper
think,
30s.
bro.
Well, man, no, you look-y hate on Jakob too
Well,
hard.
like, bro, like I think
He's ass.
he was very valuable at one point. I just don't think it's gonna go any higher. I don't know what they're waiting for, but
That's true. That's very true. I think he probably is at his plateau. But yeah, hopefully we get Maluwatch or even Queen. Derek Queen could be interesting
yeah.
as well.
All right,
Okay.
let's move to the playoffs though.
Yeah. So,
Let's get to the first series we need to talk about is the Celtics. For you guys that don't know, it's Max's first time. He's probably the biggest Celtics fan I've ever met in my life. Biggest fan of a sports team I've ever met in my life when it comes to the Celtics. Um,
Yep.
Celtics
Yep.
lose in 6 games. They have a triumphant effort in Game 5 with no Tatum. Um, but I think they were legitimately down 3-1 with Tatum. I mean, they're down 9 with 2.5, 3 minutes left. OG's running the ball down the floor. Um, Obviously, Tatum suffers a season-ending and possibly next season missed Achilles injury. Um, so I guess we'll start, Max, with your reaction to the series. It might not be too much to react to. They lost their best player and then lost Game 6 by a pretty wide margin. But also the implications after. Where do they go next year? They have difficulties with contracts, the second apron. They're gonna have to shed off some salary for sure. What do you think, and maybe what do you want to happen?
Reaction to the series. I thought those first two games really showed the whole season of the Celtics, getting up 20 points, 3 minutes left in the third, and just blowing it. We did that too much. Even with the 24 season, we did that way too much. It's just a bad look overall, but we weren't really getting dominated. I mean, the Knicks won the series by 3 points. They only beat us by 3 points. I actually don't think we were getting dominated. It was just when there's 7 minutes left in the game, nothing could fall, and ball wasn't moving. Nothing was going right to get us in that position. So that was that. Going into a game, what did Tatum tear his Achilles in? 4? Yes.
four.
Game 4.
Was it four or was it
Um,
five? Four? Yep.
yeah, it was
Okay.
4. Um, I mean, everyone knew it right away. Something was wrong. After that, I think everyone knew it was over. But it's worse. It's just so bad for the season. It's so bad. It hurts everyone in every way possible. It hurts everyone. Nothing obviously is gonna help. I mean, next season, the season we've had, we're not gonna get near 60 games. But
You don't trust Jalen
game
Brown to
six,
carry you
Yeah,
guys
we
home?
get to see Jalen Brown as the first option for the
Was he
first
not the
time ever.
Finals MVP?
it's not happening. It's not happening. But game six, I just because we're paying Jalen Brown 300 million to foul out in the third quarter, like come on, it was just
He's always been that player, though. He's always been street. He's either the best player on the floor or he's like almost unplayable, almost.
this is but it's just he can't be
Man,
like
that's
that.
kind of
Not
extreme.
unplayable because he always plays good. He always plays good defense, but
Yeah.
Um, so season is over. Right, right after season's over, I just started thinking about what's the off season going to look like. And the first thing my mind went to was, I want Giannis. I want Kevin Durant. We're going to put a package towards Kevin Durant.
right on.
Dude, how? How are you guys gonna do that?
Wait, I think can I explain? I
It's,
want to explain maybe my limited knowledge about the aprons in the NBA to maybe help
Go
why
off.
people understand like why something needs to happen this season. So there's a first and second apron in the NBA. It's above the luxury tax. Basically, their salary cap set. I think this year is around 189 million dollars was the second apron. So penalties for being over the first apron are significant. Penalties for being over the second apron in your salary are detrimental. Like you almost can't function as an organization. So the Celtics are above the second apron right now. So basically, some of the restrictions they have is if you're above the second apron, your picks are frozen for the next 7 years. You can't include those picks in a trade for the next 7 years. You can't include cash bonuses in any trade. So a team that wants to do a trade with you, but the salaries don't match up, you want to add cash, you can't do it. You can't acquire off-season free agents. You literally can't acquire off-season free agents if you're over the second apron. It's kind of crazy, unless it's in people do sign-in trades to like maneuver around that. But yeah, so being over the second apron really is detrimental, and that's why the Celtics need to make a move this year.
It's like
Um,
digging your own grave, basically.
yeah, yeah. It's like for teams that know that's why teams that enter the second apron, like the Celtics, they won a championship. The championship last year being in it, they don't care about all the penalties. The penalties are another thing. They're paying a player named Sam Hauser. Every $3 million he makes is actually $25 million when you include all the penalties and taxes on top of his salary. It's ridiculous. But Max, so what do you want to see happen this offseason? A lot of people say Porzingis,
Nobody
Drew
wants
Holiday.
KD. Like,
People are
shoot, I
entertaining
don't know if that's happening, buddy.
Jalen Brown trades. I mean, what do you think? Yeah, but he said Giannis.
for me, for me, like for me, I just want to have the team like we had this year. Because when I look at Kevin Durant's history, I mean, he just tanked the Suns. The Suns just had a horrible season, like not the season they were supposed to have. I just don't want him if he somehow comes here to do something like that. But I would like to see
Bro,
more of
I
like
would
a
get your head
John.
out of the Giannis and KD gutters right away.
Well,
I
I'll
don't
just
even know why
what
you're
did
thinking
Nick
about
Wright
that,
say?
bro.
Well, you know
Yeah,
what?
Nick
They
Wright.
might have
Nick
one of the
Wright,
better packages to get Giannis. They have solid role players that they
you'd be
could.
Jalen Brown, bro.
I just don't know, like, I don't know how that money would work because if you're trying to leave the apron and then you acquire Giannis or KD,
Yeah,
it's like
they would have three max contracts, bro.
that
They'd
would be
have
absurd.
JB, JT, and KD if they
You'd
don't
have to
trade for
trade
them.
everyone and just run minimums around them.
Yeah.
It's just that this Tatum injury has this work cut out for. We're gonna have to see Jalen Brown prove why he's a $300 million player. We're gonna have to have Brad Stevens
He
pull some
did, bro.
magic out of a hat. Like I don't know. I have to see what Jalen Brown's like as a number one option. But
I would
um,
personally hope if I were you that like if a role player that makes a decent amount of money gets traded, I would personally have to say, I'm sorry, Drew Holiday, you have to go. Drew
But
Holiday
I don't
dropped
want to trade Drew
four,
Holiday for a bag of chips.
but
Like,
You're gonna have to, buddy.
Drew Holiday
I.
dropped 4 points in a closeout game. He's 34,
Oh my
going on
God.
35 this June, and you basically have a like to a certain extent a younger version of him in Derek White, who I would much rather keep. Is way better offensively, slightly
Yes.
worse defensively. You could argue even on the same caliber. I don't know. Like, what would you say, Max? I would say they're equal
Dude, he's
defensively or
it's still
so.
Drew Holiday though. It's just like I'm okay of getting rid of Kristaps, Hauser, and Drew Holiday, but like it
Gr-
depends.
Well, which one of those would? Well, like Hauser is like
It
kind of a
might have to
small
be both.
contract.
Like
It's
it
gonna
might
have
have
to
to
be
be both those players. I can't lie. Like
Kristaps
I don't
Andrew.
yeah, I
Yeah,
don't
to
want to
answer
like quote people
the
too much, but
question, Derek White is the better player.
Well, yes, well, yeah, we know this, but I'm just saying, like, who would you rather trade, Drew Holiday or Kristaps this offseason? If you're Brad Stevens and you have to
Kristaps.
make the decision.
yeah, bro.
Yeah,
Kristaps
Kristaps.
is terrible.
Kristaps
He
can't
was
stay
so
healthy.
bad.
He was horrible during the playoffs, but he was sick during the playoffs. But shooting what he shot, it's not acceptable. He's got to go. I'm okay with him going.
I've
I'm okay
seen
with it.
something, and like before we move on, because we probably should get to the other series, but I've seen something that was from Nick Wright, like not to quote other people too much, but he said the only thing Tatum can really hope for when he gets back in 2027 is that he has Jaylen Brown and Derek White. Other than that, like Kristaps, Drew, Hauser, like all those guys could be gone easily. Like I think he's thinking like if I get back and we have those core guys, I think Joe Mazzulla has proven he's a good coach. It's not just the roster. Like that's kind of what he can hope for.
Joe
Yep.
sold this series,
Yep.
I can't lie, but he obviously is a great coach. Every coach has some whoopsies here and there.
Yeah, they do need to take some
It's a
twos every once
timeout.
in a while.
It's a timeout, and the threes like I don't know.
Yeah, he was looking
Move
like
on.
Dervin Ham at times, hand in the pot,
Yes.
Dervin
All
moving.
right, let's move on to Denver versus OKC.
Okay.
Only game 7 of round 2. Yes.
Yes.
Only game 7 of round 2. Denver put up a great fight, honestly. Like a 6 seed, just obviously outmanned. Um, but I think OKC's depth and just consistent contribution from role players and others was just too overwhelming compared to Denver's. Obviously, in Game 7, you have Michael Porter. I mean, when he was shooting, like, you were surprised that the ball was hitting the rim. He was just hit, that shoulder was off. Like, you had Aaron Gordon who barely get up and down, who still played, was probably the Nuggets' third best player, and he actually didn't have a hamstring. Christian Brown was probably their
He's a
second.
beast.
Um,
He's a beast.
so I have a take
Jamal
that
Murray?
I have a take. Jamal Murray had like 4 points in the third quarter. I don't know if he ended up with a good stat line or not. Christian Brown was like 20. He was like 3 for 8 from three or something.
Okay. He's a
Not
big game player, man. He's a big
yeah
game player.
yeah. Either way, no like that. When you're debating between that, that means nobody else really played well. Jokic didn't play his best
Exactly.
game either, for what it's worth. Like he didn't have a typical
A
Jokic
lot of
game.
turnovers.
Yeah, they put Caruso on him, man. He played physical with him.
That's what I
Um,
want to talk about,
I
baby.
have a take though. To maybe start off, even though the Nuggets lost this game 7 in the MVP race matchup, Shea versus Jokic, did Jokic still prove he's the MVP? Jokic got subbed out with
No.
2 minutes left. He got subbed out. The game was in reach. He got subbed out with 2 minutes left in the second quarter. OKC goes on a 13-0 run immediately. Like it was, you could see, like you could just see his presence not there. I don't know. Like
That's
when
valid. No, that's
if Shea
valid.
gets subbed out, J-Dub can score 17 second quarter points. Hartenstein can hit those floaters. Like Chet can have a block, go down post or someone. I think Jokic proved his value is uncomparable. Like you cannot quantify his value to that team.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I would say he's the more valuable player to his team.
Which is that's the award though, most valuable player.
I know, but I think
Yeah,
Shea was the better player overall this series. Shea didn't have any like repeated plays where he was turning the ball over, getting locked by players that are 3, 4
Man,
positions away from him.
because they don't have the defenders of come on. Like you know Denver doesn't have the defenders that OKC does.
No, they definitely don't. But like you could put somebody like I don't know, Christian Brown. Like Christian Brown's probably a level under Caruso defensively, one
Yes,
level.
Far
Yeah,
no,
one
more than
level.
that, more than that.
No, bro. Okay, I'll give you
Bro,
that. I'll
what?
give you that.
Caruso's one of the best defense players in the league.
Yeah, and Brown,
He made
like
all defense.
Brown's a good defender as well.
I don't
Alex
think.
Caruso.
Yeah, but like
No, obviously Alex Caruso's a great defender, but like
a
he's been
better
all
defender than
defensive
Brown.
what once? Yeah,
I'm not
no.
sure exactly.
Yeah, I'm just saying like it was very surprising to me how Jokic allowed a shooting guard, small forward, a 6'4", 6'5" player to cause him to turn the ball over and make irrational decisions to the point that he did. Especially considering like Jokic, what he's known for the most part is his out of world IQ. We have his IQ up with, let's say, LeBron and Luca in terms of being able to control the game. And man, Alex Caruso, I don't know if it's more of a detriment to Jokic or more of an applaud to Caruso in this situation.
I
But
think
I
it's an
was I
applaud
was
to
just
Caruso,
surprised.
man. I think it's an applaud to Caruso. Like even when Jokic like was in a position where it's like if Shea has a great defender on him, he can kick to the perimeter and like trust his players to make a play by himself. Jokic is like, I guess I can try and pass this to you, but Russ, you're gonna. I mean, Russ played one of the worst games I've seen him play since he was with the Lakers. Like, I'm not even joking.
Russ,
I know.
Russ, do you want to hear Russ's stats this series? 10 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds. Guess his field goal percentage, boys.
He
Guess his
he
field goal
had four. He
percentage.
had I think he had 3 or 4 turnovers that game, and they were like Game 7 in an NBA series. I could not believe he was throwing these passes.
He
What
was
was his field
shooting
goal
so
percentage?
many
Wait.
threes too.
Wait. This stat with the 10 points, 2 assists. That was in Game 7, right?
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that is Russell
No,
Westbrook's average in this series. He
they would
averaged
have lost their
10
The
mind if he had
points,
10
series.
points.
10 points, 2 assists, 2 rebounds, 35% from the field, 22% from three.
20. That's
He
bad,
And
played.
this
He
is why
played
we can
probably like I was a Russ hater, and then he started playing good games. But this is one of the worst games I've ever seen him play.
Yeah, it's bad. This is why I will never, like in the all-time ranking, like a lot of people will have Russ and James Harden around that same tier. Like I get James Harden has bad games in the playoffs, but not to this extent, bro. Not even close to this extent. And not compared to these series averages. James Harden is way better than Russell Westbrook all time. I don't care.
agreed,
But
100%.
but that doesn't have anything to do with this. But yeah, I just have to get that off my chest because I'm a Harden
Yeah.
guy. So you're the beard
Yeah, I
baby.
don't know. Like I think they drew dead, especially when I don't know how Aaron Gordon played. I mean, but both their starters were injured. Nobody else played good. Jokic didn't play his best. I think it was good defense by OKC, but you heard Jokic after the game. Can you win a championship with this roster? And he said no. Like we didn't win, so we can't. We would have if we could have. They need to change their roster for sure, and I think they
That's
will.
such a Jokic
They have a
answer.
new GM, no Calvin Booth. Remember, Max? Do you have anything to say?
I think going to 2 Game 7s in 2 series really wore Jokic out. Not even the Nuggets. I think Jokic. I just think the better team actually won. That's all it really was. The better team won. Simple as that. I mean,
Yeah,
they
I
hit
mean,
more
especially in
shots.
Game 7, like when both two starters are not even themselves. They're
Yeah.
That's
definitely the better
valid.
team.
One more thing I would add about this series is, or even in the playoffs as a whole for the Denver Nuggets, Aaron Gordon has had one of the best performances as a whole from a role player that I've seen since I've started watching
He had
basketball.
like, did he have like 3 game winners?
He had like, bro, he just looked like Robert
Dog.
Horry out there,
He's a
just
dog.
running on a game on the line, cash, bro, banks, fade away to the corner, like. He said he wanted to win one for Russ, and he held up his side of the bargain. Russ. Yeah. Okay, so moving on. Let's briefly go over this Warriors Wolves series. I wouldn't say there's too much to talk about.
Yeah.
I think it all just boils down to the Steph Curry injury. Without him, the Warriors are an absolute cemetery, or a garbage disposal. They have Jimmy Buckets, they have Draymond Green, who does not play offense besides pass, and a bunch of role players that are not willing to shoot the ball. Gary Payton, Kaminga did get his. He actually did get his, and I was happy to see him play, as we mentioned, for the last few games against the Rockets, which was nice. But I think the Wolves played Wolves basketball.
Yeah.
Randall kept up that level of play that he had against the Lakers, which
Yeah.
um, I'm happy to see because every time a player that has a negative connotation with their name, whenever they're able to turn that around, it's always great to see. And then Ant, and
Oh my God, man.
He's a
McDaniels. So
beast.
that's what I think it boils down to.
I was gonna say, yeah, Steph Curry got injured. Um, but like an important thing is that the Wolves didn't let it go to 6 or 7 games for no reason. Like they handled their business. They won all four without Steph there, which gave them an advantage tonight. They're going in more rested than OKC, who just played a game 7 on Sunday. Like they took the low hanging fruit, which you always have to do. And one of my notes here, Mike, that you covered was that Julius Randle actually sustained this play for another series. Like it
Hmm.
wasn't a one-off thing. Where the late we all knew the Lakers defense wasn't good. But they played a good defensive team. Probably got better defensively without Steph, even though they obviously got way worse as a team. But he kept up his play. He's shooting good field goal percentage. He's playing great defense, and hopefully he can carry over to the next year. So then, like I think that's two important things. Even though it's like they should have won the series, and they did. That Randall played well doing it.
I think the Wolves would have won even if Steph was there, to be honest. As sad as it is, but
Well, they lost the only game he did play.
yeah, that's fair. But
Good point.
I feel like Ant's a legend killer, bro, at this point. Like Steph was just another name on the books.
Max?
I don't know, man. I think we're not talking. I think Randall's not getting enough credit. I think he had a massive role in beating the Lakers. I mean, the Wolves
He
on a
did.
10-0 stretch. Lakers would cut it down, then Randall would go get two more buckets. I think all this stuff about him. I didn't think he was a type of player where you could call him bad in the with the Knicks, but now that he's with the knew everything with the Wolves. Something's clicking with him.
Yeah, like sometimes
Amazing.
players just need a fresh start, like a new team to not
That's
have
what.
those demons.
Yeah. Okay. Lastly, I don't really want to talk about this that much. Cavs Pacers. The Cavs are basically the 2015 Hawks, as everybody was making memes about as soon as they came out of the regular season, which is funny because that's exactly what they ended up being. And the Donovan Mitchell curse continues. Has yet to make a conference finals in his NBA career, which sucks because I like Mitchell. I was on the Spider train when he just first broke out, and that was fun to watch. But honestly, I don't think a lot of people are blaming him in that last game for his poor play in the second half. Yes, he did play bad, but he also dropped 40 on these boys twice. He didn't really have much help, and they just looked very soft in comparison to a
Defeated.
very gritty Pacers team that has more experience than that Cavs group, and I just think had the potential to ultimately go farther because their defense and their togetherness just outweighed the Cavs' soft play ultimately.
Yes. And um, with that series, I don't know. It was weird because I think it was game two where Halliburton hit that shot. Um, was it that shot the to win them the game? But
I think it was game two.
yeah, no, it was weird because it was a game of runs really the whole time. Either the Cavs would make a run, the Pacers would go on a run. But ultimate when the fourth quarter would hit, the Pacers would be a different team. They would be different everything, you know. And Halliburton's that dude. He showed that. He showed he can play in these type of games. He really can. I
Yeah, and
hate
I
him,
like the
but
way he
man,
flipped that. I love the way he flips that narrative
mm,
of the most overrated player in the league. That was, hey, honestly, I think that debatably at the time wasn't a crazy take because the way he started that season, oh man, in fantasy basketball, we were flaming the boys that took Tyrese Halliburton first, second round because he was playing like, I don't know, he was playing like,
no,
who's that? He was
yeah,
playing like Peyton Pritchard or something. no offense, Max. No offense, Max, but like, bro,
No, no, no,
he was like, you know what?
no, no, no. I get it. When start of year, he wasn't good. He wasn't good. He really like he was putting up. He really was putting up these six man of the year awards numbers. But you know, he flipped that around. Props to him, man. And even towards the end of the season, it's not like when playoffs hit, he just turned into another beast. Like no, he put on a stretch, and that stretch is still lasting. But I don't know. What do you think the next Pacer series is gonna look like? That's what I don't know, man. I'm stuck.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna float into there right now. I think Andrew's struggling to get back in here. He might be having some issues with his laptop, but when he gets in, he can hop in this as well. But yeah, I'm really excited about this series, man. Debatably more than the Wolves OKC game tonight, which
Okay.
starts in about half an hour. So hopefully
Yep.
we don't take another half an hour to finish. Um, Andrew said he can't use his cam or mic. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully we can
Can
get him
put it
back in
down
at.
here.
Yeah, he might have to. Or he might end up because I'm not gonna quit on it here, but
No, no,
um,
no. I get it.
yeah, I'm excited about um. Well, I would say the part that's most interesting to me about this series is the wings battle. I'm excited to see how
Mm,
Mathurin and Naismith match up with Mikal Bridges and
Hart.
OG Anunoby. Oh, I didn't even think about Hart because is basically their power forward at this point. The way
Yeah,
he
yeah, yeah.
grabs
No, I get
rebounds
it.
and stuff and the way he plays, but
Mm,
I just think
dog.
two very gritty groups of forwards, and I think they might be able to basically cancel each other out this series in a way. Um, Another interesting thing that you could consider is the Knicks have slightly more experience. Pascal is the only player on this Pacers roster, from my knowledge, that has championship experience and has won a championship. While on the Knicks, OG has championship experience where
Hello?
he won the NBA Finals. What's up, you're back.
Okay.
We're just talking about Pacers Knicks right now. Just the first few points I said, Mathurin and Naismith versus Bridges and OG will be an interesting forwards matchup. And also, the Knicks have slightly more experience with OG and Mikal being two players on their roster that have made the NBA Finals. Mikal with the Suns, if you can remember that tragic series against the Bucks, and
Bad.
OG on the Raptors, and then Pascal's the only guy with championship caliber um, on the Pacers. So those are my just first 2 points. I don't know if you guys want to add anything to that or
The
bring up
Pacers and
Yeah.
something
Knicks
of your own.
series?
Yeah, we haven't done any predictions. We're just kind of building up towards all the key points of the series.
Yeah, the
For,
Pacers and Knicks series, like, it'll be very interesting. I just don't know if the Knicks defense, as good as it is, can keep up with the Pacers. I mean, they just play so fast. They truly have one of the best offenses in the league, obviously. Um, I think that the Pacers have an advantage with having Nemhard and Neesmith to guard Jalen Brunson. They feel like good matchups, like similar archetypes. Um, but yeah, like,
One
sorry,
thing to add, do you not think that like OG Mikal Bridges on Tyrese Halliburton would be similar and would somewhat cancel that out?
they could. I mean, they just got out of a series where they had Hunter and some wing defenders in the Cavs, and they just destroyed them. But not as good as the Knicks for sure.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I just think it's going to be a series with two of the best guards um, in the league, and it's going to be awesome, man. I think the depth of the Pacers compared to the Knicks can be an issue. Like, I don't know, because Tibbs plays these guys 48 minutes a game against Indiana is ridiculous of your players to ask. Um,
Hmm.
I think that um, we've seen McCall like lock down. He played good defense against Tatum. He had two game winning plays. So like you said, I think he could step up. But overall, man, it's going to be a good series.
yeah,
Yeah, for
for
sure.
sure. What I would like to add on to this is my predictions are going to go to the Knicks because I just think they have too many good defenders. too many good defenders. And I don't think the Pacers can shoot like what they've been shooting in the Cavs series. I don't know who they even play in the first round. I forget, but the Cavs series they were hitting a lot.
The
They
Heat,
really
right?
were. Yeah, yeah, yeah. They were hitting a lot
No, the
of
Cavs played the Heat.
Oh,
yeah, but no, they were hitting a lot. I just think the Knicks defense is just too good. Just too good in general. And they're on the offensive side for the Knicks. I think it is what Andrew said, going to be the battle of the guards. I think Jalen Brunson's really going to have to show out. Like really going to have to show out.
another interesting matchup to like a lesser degree would be Turner versus Cat. Will Turner be able to defensively match Cat's offense? My answer
Yes,
would be
I think it's
no.
the other question. Like Cat needs to prove himself almost. I can't lie. He played good towards the end of that series, but he's shown he can have random stints where it's just like he's non-existent.
He's right.
Okay, that's valid. Another point I would like you mentioned, Andrew. Can and this can go both ways. Can the Knicks slow down the game, and can the Pacers speed up the game? I think that ultimately that's what this series boils down to because one team thrives in the half court and one thrives in the full court, and both of their players are the key to that. Brunson's a ISO god, and Halliburton is one of the best playmakers I've seen. So I ultimately it's
It's awesome.
who
It's a good
executes
rematch
the
too.
exactly, yeah, and a huge just rivalry in general, one of the biggest NBA rivalries of all time, and to see that, I think it's going to be very exciting, especially in the Mecca at the Garden, to see
Yeah,
all the former players come back, and that place is going to be electric when the Knicks win. I got
I would
Knicks in
say
six.
I would say two of the best crowds, honestly. I think Indiana is a really good underrated crowd. They all got those yellow
That's
t-shirts
true.
on. Yeah, I'm just
Andrew, who do you
excited,
have
man. You
winning the
got
series?
Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton going at it. That being said, I'm gonna go with the Pacers in 7 games. I'm taking them,
Mm.
man. The Knicks don't get over the hump. The Pacers have proven they're back-to-back Eastern Conference Finals. They beat this team last year. Granted, no Mikal Bridges.
Hallie to the finals,
Or
bro.
no, they had
That'd be
or
sick.
Cat.
I hate both teams.
Hallie to the finals though. Like this team's been here. Like they're not a young, unexperienced team that's like trying to make a surprise. They were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. I think they can beat the Knicks, man.
Okay,
All right.
I
that's
think they just
interesting,
wear
man.
them
Before
down. I think they wear them down over the series. I don't think the Knicks can keep up.
Yeah, and they're a very physical defensive team. That's
Very
too.
physical.
That's
You got
true because we mentioned this in the last episode how every matchup the Pacers go against, one of the main players on the other side gets injured because they're just like they're a grueling defensive team to match up against, and their physicality isn't of like any level of honestly any team this playoffs, in my opinion. Maybe you could bring up the Wolves, but I think they're more physical than the Wolves.
yeah, for
mm,
sure, for sure. The
Yeah,
Wolves have better defenders like Nikhil Alexander Walker and Jaden McDaniels. Even though Rev Neesmith's really good,
and
Nemhard is a playoff riser. He's a certified playoff riser. Like you can give him that title right now.
yeah, Buddy is I was gonna say a 3-point threat, but he's just a threat in general.
Benedict Mathurin, TJ McConnell always finds a way to be productive.
I love TJ, man. I love TJ.
Yeah, so
Okay,
I'll take the Pacers. I'll go against you guys.
okay, let's float over to the Western Conference. Wolves, OKC, first game tonight at 9:30, 8:30 Eastern Standard. I think it's gonna be like the other series, but to probably a lesser extent, in my opinion, a battle of matchups here. And I think the biggest matchup is what big will get exposed. Will it be a matchup with Naj Reid and Hardenstein where they end up going small ball and Naj Reid at the five is really just taking advantage of having a slower, laterally quick center in Hardenstein? Or will it be, for example, Chet having a Holmgren on him? Maybe being able to take him. I mean, Chet having a Gobert Sari on him, able to take advantage off the dribble out of the mid post sort of deal. That would be my first point. What do you guys think of that?
I think the Wolves can match up well. I think in the other series that OKC just played, you have Jokic. They have no backup center. So they were able to like wear him down, abuse it a bit more. Hartenstein had to catch 4 to 5 lobs a game, or Chet, like combined. I think Rudy Gobert in this series is the X factor. Obviously not the best player as an X factor, but he can flip the coin to where it's like if Rudy's holding down the paint, when J-Dub goes to the paint, you have Rudy Gobert there instead of Jokic. When you're throwing that lob, you have Rudy Gobert there instead of Jokic or Aaron Gordon, who's a good defender but just not big enough. So I
Yeah.
think the Wolves can match their size better, and I'll take Ant against any front court in the league. Um,
Stop it.
I think their defense can
Stop it.
start wearing down, or backcourt, sorry. Um, but I think the Wolves can match up better. That being said, OKC could just have a better roster. Like I don't want to like simplify it too much, but their consistent output from others could be more, even though Julius Randle's been playing well. But yeah, like acting like the Wolves are gonna run away with this is kind of stupid in my opinion.
For me, I have the
Okay, Max,
I,
why were you
What do you
Max, why were
mean? You
you
wouldn't? If I say I would take Ant against any backcourt in the league, like how is that like? I think he's proven that.
uh,
No.
I Olin SGA. Look what happened last year in the Western Conference Finals.
No, like
Look at
We all know
hey,
SGA is like a better player, but like acting like going into a 7 game series, Ant can't match him or something is kind of
yes, he
like
can't.
act like that's not a
I
possibility.
don't know if everyone would even agree at this point that Shea is a better player
That's what
than
I'm like
Ant.
right now. Like I think it's kind of a toss up. Who like right now you know Shea's gonna play better than Ant tonight, Max. Like no, you don't.
Yes,
I'd probably say
No,
Ant
yes.
you
I'll
don't,
will.
put
bro.
money on.
You
Yes,
don't, bro. What?
yes, yes.
You know for
I,
sure
I,
someone's
I,
gonna outplay Anthony Edwards. Like no, you don't.
I don't know about Anthony Edwards, but I
Bro.
know that the Oklahoma City Thunder are gonna win tonight, and
That's who I'm talking about.
it's. But I'm talking about that. Ant's not gonna have the game that he's been having in these series. No way. They match up way too well or
You
backwards.
know what? I could kind of side with Max might make me change my opinion, bro. Because
Think
when you
about it.
think about it, we brought up Caruso as a Jokic stopper in the last series, and he's not even the best defender on his team. They have Luke Dort. They have Jalen Williams, who are both better defenders than Alex Caruso, at least this year. They still have Shea, who's a positive defender. They can throw all of these bodies at Anthony Edwards, and then it basically boils down to that matchup, and in my opinion, the Julius Randle matchup. I don't know if they have anybody that can match his physicality. That's going to be scary. That's why I would say that Julius
Lou Dort.
Randle, in my opinion, is the X factor of the series.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe Luke Dort, but like he's taller than Luke Dort and probably stronger or equally as strong. I don't know. I think it just boils down to like Randall, you got traded for Karl Anthony Towns. Point blank, period. We're in the Western Conference Finals. This is the same situation where we were at last year. Cat had a great Western Conference Finals and got sent out to New York. That would also be a very
No,
interesting
no.
matchup. I didn't think
I was
about
just
that.
thinking that.
Minnesota, New York. Wow, that'd be a big storyline.
That would be cool.
But your catch replacement, who was an All NBA player last year, are you going to step up to the plate or are you going to crumble? At this point, no matter how he plays this series, I would say that Julius Randle had a successful postseason and that he's flipped the narrative. But I think it boils down to him. Is he gonna keep up that play? If he does, in my opinion, the Wolves win in 7. I think ultimately
Stop it,
Ant
bro.
is man, I don't want the Wolves to win. I just think
It's not.
Ant is scarier. I think Ant is scarier
And
in a
Shea.
game 7 than Shea, and I think it's
Yes.
gonna go to a game 7 either way.
You,
Like
Ant
I'm not
has to
denying
unlock
one of
something
my
we've
notes
never
one of
seen.
my notes is the amount of defenders that OKC has for Ant. Like I'm acknowledging that. But acting like we need to remember what we thought the Denver Nuggets were last year when they beat them in the second series. They were coming off a win. They were coming off the 2023 finals in which people were saying they could be a dynasty. And
I thought they were gonna repeat.
Ant beat them in 7 games. This is OKC's third playoff series win in like I don't know how many years. Or second. They lost last year in the first round to Dallas.
Second.
Like I just feel like I don't want to call you a hater, Max, but like And if you said like I think OKC's defense will prevail against Ant, I'd be like okay. But saying there's no chance is kind of just like not acknowledging what he's done so far in his career. I think he's
I'm
shown
telling
you
you,
that
there's
like you
no
have to give
chance
him a
that
chance
the,
against. He has to get a chance against anybody. How is there like that doesn't make any sense, man.
this isn't going. This isn't going to 7 games.
Hey, he's
This is
sitting
not
on
going to
business.
seven
He's
games.
sitting on business.
It goes back to what you
So
said, Andrew. You said that for the
I
Nuggets.
might
My bad,
pick
Micah.
I might pick OKC in less than 7 games,
now let
but
him talk. Let him
not
talk.
giving him a chance is crazy, bro.
It goes back to who did the Thunder just beat the Nuggets? It goes back to where Jokic's role players folded when they played this OKC's defense. What is Ant's team gonna do?
They have better
It's
like Ant's better
no,
than
they
those.
don't.
Wait, what?
I'm just saying. I feel like Ant is gonna be OKC's main focus. Obviously, that's gonna have to force, like Micah said, Julius Randle to have another good series.
Well, Max, they went to Game 7 against them, and their two starters are injured. Like it's not like they lost in 4 games.
But I'm saying this isn't going. This
So
is going
Max, who do you
four
have?
games. I have OKC in 4 or 5. What? Yes, yes.
In
OKC in
four?
4.
I
4.
love it when Minnesota wins tonight, and it's just like
I
oh my
want them
God,
to.
it's gonna be
I
awesome.
hate OKC,
Max,
but I'm
I
telling you,
hate
this is.
OKC too. I
4
want the Wolves to win.
games.
You don't think Ant wins a game in a playoff
4
series,
I
bro?
don't think Ant wins
games.
a game. No,
So
no.
you're basically saying that the Nuggets are a better team than the Minnesota Timberwolves
Do you
is
think
what I'm
I'm
those?
hearing.
saying.
Do you?
I'm saying if you swap Jason Tatum with Anthony Edwards, this could maybe go
Bro,
to.
no,
I'm
no one's trying to hear all that, bro. No one's
No,
trying to
I'm not
hear
getting into this.
that.
I'm not getting into
God,
this.
not the Jason Tatum infinite spam into
I'm not
random
getting into this. Jason
conversations.
Tatum.
If Jason Tatum was in the Wolves uniform, this would be a Game 7. Ant has taken down old players that we are calling legends. He's taken down a bum Kevin Durant last
That
year.
we're
They're
calling
He's
all,
taken down a
legends.
hurt
It's
Steph
LeBron
Curry,
and Kevin Durant and Steph Curry, even though Curry got injured.
they're all old, but
who
like
are
they're still
old,
legends. What do you mean?
old.
Yes,
Bro,
yes,
Stop it.
they are old,
Phoenix
but
was
that doesn't mean
favored.
they're not
Bro,
legends.
Phoenix, what do you think Minnesota was at the beginning of the playoffs last year? Phoenix was literally heavily favored to win that series, and they swept
No,
them.
no, 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 no. Stop it. No,
Like, I'm
no,
talking like the literal odds. Yes, they were. They were
no.
favored
They
to
weren't.
beat them.
Nope.
And okay, they were.
I'm searching it up right now. I'm searching it up right now.
100%
Please
Phoenix was
do.
favored to beat the Wolves before game 1. For sure. And
The
then he
series, they
plays
were
the
favored in.
defending champs. Max, who's the best player in the world right now? Nikola Jokic? He plays him after 2023, in which he looked invincible and beats him in 7 games, bro.
Bro, he
You're talking about old
had
legends. Jokic
like
is in his prime. Jokic is at the best of his game.
that,
So what
bro.
was this,
That is the
2022,
only player.
2023?
This is
No,
last year,
2023,
2024.
24.
Yeah.
Anyways, like I don't understand how you're just randomly hating on Ant when I think he's proven it.
I don't think he has yet. I think he's beaten old players that we were calling.
Who
I
was
think that.
Jokic?
I think
Who was
that.
Jokic in the second round last year? Like who was
Jokic,
Jokic?
that was a great win. That was a great win series. I think
Okay,
that
so he's
Lakers
proven it.
team. I think the Lakers team that they beat is pretty cool, but they were pylons. That was the worst defensive showcase I've seen in a while.
And now they're piling.
A while.
Okay.
They always were. We all knew that. Mikey, you knew
Who do you
that.
think was winning that series, Max, at the beginning, before game 1?
The Lakers.
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
But-
So like,
Yeah, so this is what the odds are saying on the first website I searched up on OddsShark. It said the odds to win the series at the start was Minnesota plus 100 money line, Phoenix negative 118 money line.
I'm telling you.
So
And then
the
I
Suns
really
were favored, but not by like a ton.
and then I really need you to find me the second round odds coming off the Nuggets in 2023. What those odds were that the
It's a
Wolves
great
beat
win.
them.
I'm not
'Cause
taking
they were
away
way
from it.
worse,
It was a
probably.
great win. It was a
Yeah.
great win series. But I'm telling you, that's all at the window this series. It's not happening. I will go to my grave with this. It's not happening. 4 or 5.
You certainly will, mate. You certainly will.
Bro, no,
Okay.
bro, I might pick. Okay, I need to make my pick. This is gonna sound like so stupid because I just said all this, but I'm picking OKC, but like I'm saying you're picking
Okay.
them in 4 games max.
I thought you said the Wolves.
I'll take
Okay.
OKC in 7. But like, bro,
Okay.
Okay.
all right.
I personally hope OKC wins. Like I do. Obviously, I want
don't.
to see Shea win.
I want to see the Wolves.
Why?
I don't. I don't.
OKC, man.
How can you
Me,
hate
no.
OKC? Like,
I don't know. I
bro,
actually
in
don't
my
know.
opinion, OKC is the type of team where like if you're coaching a junior mini team, you tell them go and watch OKC. This is how you
you
play
do.
basketball.
You do, yeah, for sure. I like Ant though. Ant's my favorite player in series. That's probably why.
Okay, that's valid. Okay, let's go.
But
I'm trying to find this last odd, but we might have to wait until afterwards to discuss this. Oh, nope, I found it. Okay, so Nuggets were negative 205. The Wolves were plus 164.
I'm not arguing.
Odds
That was
as
a
of
great
May
win.
1st.
It was a great win. Ant did what he had to do.
Okay,
It was great.
okay,
It's all out the
okay.
window
So
this
our
year.
last segment's gonna be okay. We'll see. Hopefully. So last segment is playoff King of the Hill. So basically, how it's gonna work is I'm gonna name a player, and you're gonna have to tell me, is this player better than or worse? Is this player better than or worse than the player I line them up against?
Like
Okay.
who am I taking?
Yes. So the
Is
starting,
Is Jason Tatum involved? Because this will ruin the whole series.
we will see.
I'll be truthful. Wait, question. Is this
Okay.
how they perform during playoff time?
This is who are you taking as
Going into
who are
the
you
next
taking
series.
head to head in the playoff situation, okay?
Yep, I'm ready.
Your starting player is big body Brunson, Jalen Brunson. Okay? Are you taking Jalen Brunson or Trey Young?
Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson.
Is that just like pretty convincing? No need to add anything?
Nope.
Yeah.
Okay. Jalen Brunson or Tyrese Halliburton?
Jalen Brunson.
Tyrese Halliburton.
They're so different though. Like
Okay.
Tyrese affects the game with his passing. Jalen always hits those clutch shots. Even though Tyrese has had 2 crazy shots this postseason.
They're both clutch, but
I
Jalen
know.
Brunson
Like
is the
they're
clutch
so
player of the
good.
year.
Like I love Tyrese. I'll just pick Jalen Brunson now.
Stephen A had a
Yeah, I love
segment a
Tyrese.
couple days ago where he was talking about superstar versus not superstar, and he had Brunson superstar caliber and Halliburton a step under.
I might agree with that. Yeah.
Hey, this series basically defines that, so we'll see. Okay, next, Jalen Brunson or Steph Curry.
Like if I
At
want
this
them,
point,
if I
not
want,
prime.
okay. At this point, Jalen Brunson. Yeah.
At this point, Jalen Brunson.
At
I
this point,
like
that's
it.
like
I
so
like it.
close, though.
I hate
I
saying
like
it. I
it.
hate Jalen Brunson. I hate everything.
too.
I hate it.
Oh, I like Jalen
Jay-
Brunson.
Wait, why don't you like Jalen Brunson? Oh, because he just whips you off?
Sure. But no, I
Oh, to be sure.
hate the Knicks. No, I don't think he.
I don't know a
think he
team
did
he
what he had to
doesn't
do. I don't
hate,
think he
bro.
played crazy.
He fried you, boys. He fried you. But
No, he
anyway,
didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
what do you consider frying?
Let's go.
He averaged
I
upwards
think
of 30 points a game.
No, he
Okay,
didn't.
anyway, next. Kawhi Leonard. Who are you taking? Kawhi
Jalen-
Leonard or Jalen Brunson?
Jalen Brunson, bro.
Jalen Brunson's too effective with the ball. Kawhi's not that effective. He's not that big of a threat. Jalen Brunson's way.
Okay, that's almost like the worst argument that you could have made. Bro, he was literally frying the Nuggets.
Did we not just see what happened in Game 7? He had 10 points.
That's
Jalen
true.
Brunson
But
was
this
never
because he
putting up
barely
10
shot
points
and
in Game 7.
he didn't even shoot. Yeah, no, I agree. I would take Jalen Brunson too, but I think it's closer than you're making it sound. You just said Kawhi's not effective with the ball, bro. That's literally like
Bro.
he like just operates the mid range with the ball.
I'm saying he's not as effective. like Jalen Brunson.
Okay.
But he's a way
Okay.
better defender.
Yeah, you're right.
Jalen Brunson or Jason Tatum?
Jalen
All right,
Brunson.
I'm gonna go Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum every
Come
night.
on,
So
man.
2024, everyone kills Tatum for not. You guys don't think Tatum had the playoffs he should have in 2024 when they won it?
No, he played good in the finals.
He played okay
He
in the
played good in the
finals.
playoffs. He led the Celtics in points, rebounds, and
Every day
rebounds, and
bring up
assists.
this stat. Like I don't care, man. He's the best player on the team. He should have.
How can you not care?
Bro
He's the
said he
best
doesn't
player
care
on the
about the
team, bro.
stats.
And going back to what I said about if we were
Wait,
swapping
last
Anthony
year,
Edwards or Jason Tatum.
last year, did Jason Tatum play better in the playoffs than Jalen Brunson is playing right now in the playoffs?
No, because he had.
Okay.
Okay,
Because-
okay.
Okay,
That's some
okay,
character
because-
development
I was about to
there.
say if you
No, what? I'm taking it back. Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
No, Max, no.
Yes.
your
okay.
first
I-
instinct literally told you the right answer, you still went against it, man.
You imbecile.
Okay,
does
just to
more
make
than
this
Jalen
interesting,
Brunson.
just go as because we gave two different answers. So go as Jason Tatum. I want to see who Max takes Jason Tatum over. Make him the new Ken,
Keep going.
Okay.
even though
Jason
it's
Tatum's
obviously
the new
Jalen
Ken.
Brunson. Like
It's not.
go
Jason Tatum or LeBron James?
Jason
Right
Tatum.
now, Jason Tatum.
Right now.
Okay. And the last player on the hill is Jason Tatum. I only had 7. Like I wasn't going like too long.
Oh,
I can
thought
add
it
a
was-
few
I
at
thought
the
you were
end as
gonna
well.
build up to like the best players in the league.
No. This
okay.
is just like a little series.
Okay.
Because I want to mix it up every time. The last player of the hill is Anthony Edwards. Jason
Anthony-
Tatum or Anthony Edwards?
Anthony Edwards. is
Oh my
awesome.
God, bro! No! It's Jason Tatum. It's Jason Tatum. I'm
Wait,
sticking.
How?
I'm sticking to what I said. I'm sticking to
What
I already-
Why are
do
you
I
so
even say?
Max? Why are you so worked up?
Because it's Anthony Edwards has beaten old superstars and pylons of teams. Jason
Bro,
Tatum.
who did Tatum beat last year?
Yeah,
Jason
please
Tatum.
tell me who Tatum beat last playoffs. Please tell
No,
me.
no.
Your arguments are so bad
Stop.
because you
Stop.
lead yourself into failure
Shot
every
himself in the
time.
foot. He pulled a cheddar
Jason
bomb, bro.
Tatum has made the Eastern Conference Finals 3, 22, 2020.
Ant's in the Western Conference Finals right now. He was in the Western Conference Finals last year too.
For the second time.
Bro,
Well,
we're talking about
Jason
who would you
Tatum
take in the
He's like
playoffs right now.
23.
We're
Jason
talking,
Tatum.
bro. Why?
Because of his resume. His resume.
We're talking right now. Oh my gosh, like who's playing better
Yes.
right now? Who would you take in the series?
So you think Jason Tatum off of the way he's played this offseason?
You cut out, can you say it one more time?
Because it's not.
You would
it's
take
not
Tatum based on how he played this offseason?
off season.
Yes.
I mean, well, offseason. Postseason, sorry.
Season? Probably not. I think Anthony Edwards has had the.
Yeah. So
That's
wait,
the whole
Max.
question.
So Ant has played better this playoffs. Like you can agree to that.
Yes, but I'm telling you, going into a
No,
series,
no.
I
Just let me
trust
finish.
Tatum more.
Just let me finish. Ant has played better this playoffs. Who played better last playoffs? I know Jason Tatum won the title, but in the playoff time they had, who was playing better? Who was playing more competition? Like they played the Nuggets.
Bro, can I give you my real answer?
No, but if you answer that question, it's Ant.
Who looked
correct?
the MVP in the eye and fried him?
It's Ant, correct? Last year, went in the
Yes,
time they had,
Ant
Tatum
played a
obviously
great
won the chance.
postseason.
Okay, so the last two postseasons, Ant has outplayed Jason Tatum. This and including the one we're in, and you would still take Jason Tatum.
I never said Anthony Edwards had a better postseason than Jason Tatum last year.
I just
never
said
that. I don't think he did either.
That was the whole thing I just asked you.
I said I credited him for beating Jokic. I never said he played better than Tatum.
I
I
said
think
I
Tatum-
said last year's playoffs in the time they had, who played better, and you said Ant. Like I just asked you.
No, but I think it's Jason Tatum. I said Ant had a great series, but I still think it's Jason Tatum.
You
Okay,
just we can
so
replay that.
Max,
You just said he played better.
Max, so Tatum is your king, and then AD, Ant is your king. So who are the players that you guys would take over your king?
That's what I'm saying. Like, who's knocking Tatum off? If you don't, if Ant's probably played the best out of anyone in the playoffs right now. Nobody's knocking him off. Then he thinks Tatum's the best player.
Is Jokic knocking him off,
He doesn't think
Max?
I
so because
think I think
Ant has outplayed Jokic this playoffs.
I think I think if the Celtics played any team, I think 2020, yeah, no, I think Jason Tatum's the best player in the playoffs. Yes.
Okay, okay.
This
All
is
jokes
All right.
comedic, bro. This is hilarious.
Hey man,
Giannis,
we'll see
Giannis
when it
averaged
comes to that.
35 and 12.
Tatum is him though, bro. Tatum is him, but like I don't know to this extent. He is the champion. He is the reigning champ, so I can't really say anything.
Micah,
I can't really say
last
anything.
year, if the Wolves went to the chip and won, who do you think would have won Finals MVP on the Wolves?
Well,
Jaden
obviously,
McDaniels?
and
Jaden McDaniels?
buddy, it would have been Cat was their second best player. You troll.
I know, I'm joking, but like acting as if Jaylen Brown didn't win Finals MVP when Tatum was better than Ant apparently has been this postseason is kind of ridiculous.
And Jaylen Brown shouldn't have
That's a
won that
valid
Finals
point.
MVP. I love Jaylen Brown, but he shouldn't have won it. I don't think he should have.
But man. Okay, I guess I
All
can't
right,
change your
man.
mind.
Yeah, well, that concludes episode 4 of Hoops AM. Thanks for having thanks for popping out, Max, to the show. It was great.
No problem.
Great having you on, bro. Some interesting takes, but hopefully we'll develop our IQ going forward. And the game started right now, so let's peace out. Anything left to say, AD?
Nah, man. All good.
All right, later, y'all.
All right, see you guys.
So